Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is another beautiful day in Ghana, West Africa. Today is Wednesday. It's a beautiful morning. I'm heading to Accra, and today I'm going to take you along with me for my day. So this is a day in the life. And on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, I head into Accra. Usually I set up my meetings for this day so that I can just kind of organize and have things all back to back to back to make things a little bit easier. My morning starts off with a visit to my therapist. Yes, you heard that right. I go to therapy quite regularly. I've gone as often as once a week. Right now I'm going every other week just because of my schedule and because of logistics. And for me, it's really just a good time and place to do kind of like a wellness check-in. And I like the regularity of having one person that I check into consistently through the good times and the bad times. You know, I talk about building in Ghana being similar to that of a roller coaster ride, but it's really not just building. I mean, it's life. Life in Ghana, life in general, however you want to look at it, can be hectic. It can be stressful. A lot of people, I mean, a number of you all probably don't know some of what I've been going through, and that's fine. I mean, how should you know? It's not like I've shared it, and it's not like it's public knowledge. But nonetheless, when you're dealing with such stressful things, it's really, really important. At least that's what I've found. And that's why I've been doing this now, let's say maybe a year and a half consistently. Before that, I would pretty much go when things boiled over and it became too much. And then, like I said, with the loss of my first son and the circumstances that surrounded that, with all of that craziness that's still ongoing, I just needed a familiarity to check in with, and that's why I go. So I do recommend it. I think at this level of development, at this level of our lives, it's a responsibility that we should have to ourselves, and it's an investment. And so if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend it. Find somebody that you can listen to, relate to, appreciate, however you want to look at it. Everybody has a different strategy or maybe a different need, but find somebody you can talk to. So that's what we're doing first, and it's 8 o'clock, so we're gonna hit a lot of Accra traffic. Doroa Road is still under construction. Has it been going fast? Has it been going slow? I haven't been passing it enough lately to really acknowledge what it's doing right now. In the beginning, it was blazing. Coming up to the elections, they were going really, really fast. Had everybody out here and was getting a lot of work done. I feel like after the elections, maybe it downshifted a bit. But again, they're still getting a lot of crucial work done. Last time I showed you, they were working on the right side of the road as, say, you're leaving Accra. Now they're working on the other side of that road. And so ultimately, I'm still very, very happy with the progress and happy overall with what's going on with the road networks. I've talked about this quite often. And, Ghana has made a lot of progress with regard to the roads, and that makes getting around a lot easier. So that's a blessing. So guys, if you don't know me, my name is Brandon, and this is Eco Talk. I appreciate you joining us today. As I mentioned in my other video, I've recently been commissioned to design a wonderful project in Pokwasi, and I'm very, very excited about it. It's a project that's on 1 acre of land, and Pokwasi's not quite urban, but it's still, it's still relatively close to Accra. So I was so happy to hear that somebody was smart enough to get enough land. I know. And please don't take that like a dig or anything like that if you only got one plot. I'm not saying that you weren't smart enough. I understand that a lot of times, wow, look at that. That must be like a petrol tank or something. I should have got that. But I know a lot of times land it's all dictated by how much you can afford to spend. I understand that reality. But what I always like to say, and I want to touch on right now with you, is that one, you're going to invest thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, in developing this land that you're purchasing, or you have purchased, or you want to purchase. And because this investment is so significant, it's almost to the point where I'm like, hey, I need you to go all in, because what you're not going to want is to invest all of this and then you're like, man, I wish I would have just bought that extra plot so I had a little bit more space. So it's one of those things that once you commit and you're gonna build, just realize that you're going all in, or you're going deep, however you want to look at it. And so that's what I always say up front, try and get enough land. One of the things that I've noticed about, I don't want to just, it's not a Ghana thing, it's not an urban thing, it's not even a suburban thing, but it's just a reality with the cost of land. A lot of people, you can buy a plot of land, even now the plot is getting smaller and smaller. You can buy half a plot of land, and a lot of people do it, and then they build, and you put up a wall, and you build wall to wall essentially. You have no green space, you have no setback from your neighbors. That setback is a very, very, very big challenge. People literally build 3 to 4 feet from the wall, and you have windows there, and it's very, very troublesome. It's not, we've got codes here where you're supposed to have a certain setback, so they're violating codes. But again, a lot of that stuff is not being looked into or taken care of, or held accountable for, rather. But the reality is, just because land costs so much and now you need to maximize what you purchased, and that's why you do it. So if you can afford to, please, please, please invest in enough land. So the question you may ask next is, how much is enough land? And this really depends on what you're doing. But let me give you a quick rundown just so that you'll have this basis, because it's better to have too much and it's better to have this notion than to not. And so what I say with this is my guys have a green professor. The boys out here working hard. So again, in my opinion, you're rarely gonna want to buy one plot. Trust me. You're rarely gonna want to buy one plot. Even more rarely would you ever want to buy half a plot. Now again, there are some instances where it would make sense. Sometimes there's these little half plots that are left over, and that's like somebody's chobo, which is essentially like their piece of the pie, their little commission. And so what they do is, they might have helped facilitate surveying the land, safeguarding the land, or a number of other things. And so somebody dashes them this little half plot. And of course, they're thankful to have the land, but more importantly, they got challenges that they're facing. And so they need the money. And so they sell this quarter plot, which might be in a, now, I won't call it prime area, but because most people don't want to buy the half plots, sorry, not quarter plot, half plots. And so those can be left over, and you can purchase it, and you can do a tiny home on it, and a number of other things. But again, like I've said, once you start investing upwards of $50,000, you're gonna be like, man, I wish I had a little bit more space so I could plant a mango tree. You know what I mean? A mango tree and an avocado tree and an orange tree. You know, I say all that to say this because somebody might say, oh, well, I've got a half plot and I got a mango tree, but do you have enough space for all of these trees? For a vegetable garden, for a car park, for a playground, you know, for green grass for the kids to go and run in? Probably not. Probably not. So again, you're gonna wanna try to set your goal at a minimum of 2 plots. Yes, you heard that right. 2 plots. That gives you 1 plot where you can build the house. And it gives you a whole nother plot that can be reserved as green space, that can be reserved as room for building in the future. You really want to think about future-proofing your home. And what I mean by that is planning so far ahead that you take those things into account. And so that way when you're ready in the future, you can do that expansion because you have space. Or again, you might be in a bind and you might want to sell that plot, and now it's appreciated and it's become worth so much more, and now you can sell it, and now I know you're back down to 1 plot, but again, that might have got you out of a bind that was something that you were dealing with. So my recommendation is going to be a minimum of 2 plots. Now, if you are in a position to where you can invest in land, and it's not just the, oh, you know, this is all I can afford, then that's where I'm going to tell you, you're going to immediately want to go to 1 acre. Buy 1 acre of land. Depending on your situation and where you're looking at investing, you know, the other reality is when you go far enough, they sell the land in acres. They don't sell it in plots. It's in the urban and suburban areas that they sell it in plots because it's such a scarce resource. But once you get further out, you know, they sell it in acres, which is 4 to 6 plots, depending on how you look at the plot. Like I said, the plot is getting smaller and smaller. The standard plot, the traditional plot, is 100 by 100. That's 100 feet by 100 feet square. And 4 of those plots make up an acre. And so an acre is typically around 200 feet by 200 feet, plus or minus a little bit. And so that's typically how an acre is sold. An acre is usually sold in a square, 4 plots, 100 by 100. If it's in, like I said, a more suburban area or an urban area, then they're going to divide that 4 plots, that acre, into as many as 5 or 6 plots. And the reason why they're doing that is because the plot price is not necessarily changing dramatically. And so what they're rather trying to do is multiply it times 6 versus multiplying it times 4 to get the added income from selling, you know, getting more value from them. And so yeah, if you can afford to, and you just say you want to build a house, an estate, your home, that's what I'm gonna say. It needs to go on an acre of land. An acre needs to be the new plot. I'm not gonna lie to you. The acre needs to be the new plot. That's really what it needs to be. And so whatever you can do, invest. If you've got to take an additional loan, if you've got to create payment plans, a lot of people will accept payment plans to where you can make an upfront down payment and then spread the cost over time. And so that's what you need to do at times. Make a long-term deal that has a long payment structure that works for you and that they will accept, and go ahead and start making those payments, because again, you're gonna want that land. Are you crossing or not? Come on, mama. There she goes. So yeah, you're gonna want that land. So again, yeah, the acre is the new plot. The acre is the new plot. That's a 4-in-1. So okay, so we've talked about the acre. Now you're probably gonna say, well, Brandon, where do I go from there? Let me tell you, because a lot of people are very, very, very ambitious. They come and they're like, man, I want to farm. I want to build houses. I want to build a little community. You know, I want plots that I can sell. I might want to build some units that I can sell. I might want to build a resort. Who knows? But they are very, very, very excited and motivated, and they have this big dream. So if you're one of those people, that acre is gonna feel like a half plot. You're not gonna have enough space on that acre. No, you're not. You're not at all. You're not. I gotta be upfront and honest with you. For those people, you're gonna really want 4 acres of land. Yep, I had to take it all the way there. Now you could do it on as small as 3 acres, but if I'm being realistic, you're gonna really want at least 4 acres. And if you can afford, if you're in a situation where you can really, really do it, then I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna wanna stretch that all the way up to 10 acres. 10 acres, you heard that right. Now, if you're investing in 10 acres, that's you gotta realize what you're getting yourself into. If you wanna be a bit modest, go at 5 acres. 5 acres is a great amount of space. But the challenge is, if what you wanna do is successful on 5 acres, then that's where it's kind of like, hey, you're on to something. And you should have just got that 10. Because it's like, now you've got enough land forever, you know. Unless you're just really, 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 you know, trying to show out, and maybe you're a company or an NGO or an organization who's, you know, really got a big project in mind, and that's when you get up into the 20 to 50 acres. But again, there's set numbers that are very advisable and very manageable. And there's a lot of things that going into maintaining land. So the one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to buy too much land and then not be able to be in a position to adequately maintain it. And so you have to be very, very careful about your selection. You have to be very careful and realistic about what you're going to be able to achieve. And then you need to set that target, execute it, and make it happen. So what I've liked to say, and this is how I started it out, is that ultimately, when you're choosing land, you should have already started the design process, to be honest. You should have already started it. We should already know what it is that we're intending to build. We should know the program, the specification, how many rooms. Is it 1 story? Is it 2 stories? Is it 3 stories? You know, what other factors are you planning on incorporating into this home? Because I say all this to say that when you're selecting land, you should be choosing a piece of land that works for what you're trying to do. You should not be limited. Give me 1 second. Passing the police checkpoint. Okay, you should not be confined by the restraints that your site put upon you. This is when you have enough foresight, enough time to plan, enough time to factor in all these elements. Now you can choose a site that fits your criteria and meets your needs for your design. And that ultimately is the best option. I'm going to be upfront with you. That's the best option. When you're planning for a success, not when you're responding to a situation and trying to solve a problem. Yes, we have a lot of problems that we need to solve. And there's going to be a lot of challenges that are going to come up in this process. But if we can target and we can apply our strategy to achieve our target and goal, then you're much better off. And so that's where, again, I always tell people, please start early. The minute you have the idea and you know that this is something that you want to do, and you're willing to invest in making that idea come to a reality, that's when you want to start planning. that's when you want to start reaching out to different people and developing a team that can help you fulfill your goals and aspirations. And you're gonna need a team, trust me. This is where now you are the owner, and you need to hire your dream team that's gonna go out here and handle business and do what you need them to do so that you can have a successful project. So please, if you're looking to develop a project, if you're interested in what I'm doing, please reach out to me early, very, very early. I always say that the earlier you reach out, you're going to save not only time, you're going to save money and other resources. You know, you're going to be better informed, and you're going to be able to make the right decisions, and you're going to have an expert guide that's going to be there to usher you along the process and ultimately to answer any questions or challenges that you may be having. And information and transparency is very, very much paramount in this process. So please start early. Give yourself that one. I always say too that you got two options. It's like either time or money. So if you don't have the money, then you need to take longer to do it, because it's going to take you longer to save that money, right? No problem. If you have the money, you can get it done faster. But there's still a fine line between when you can't go faster and you're just being wasteful. And so you want to be strategic, and you want to set your tempo and your plan to match your budget and resources, but not so that it's wasted, so that it's maximized, everything's being utilized, and it's strategic. So think about that duality, that balance of time and money, and what do you have an abundance of to invest in, you know. Hold on, let me pass this big tanker. Come on now, Oswald. Oswald Investments is the company who is doing this road work. I've been going so long that I haven't even showed you the updated progress of the road works, but I think ultimately that's fine, because this is even better than that. And this is another one of the things that I've wanted to do as of lately. I want to get on target, you know, and my target, well, let me say my canvas is broad. I do have a very broad canvas. But when I talk about getting back on target, that's talking about making content that is dedicated towards this home development, this repatriation and process. And so, yeah, guys, I want to bring you edutainment. I've always liked it. Edutainment. It's a little bit of both. It's entertainment in that it's entertaining in watching this adventure that I've been on for all these years. And then at the same time, too, you're going to learn so much. And if you're looking to do what I've been doing, then, yeah, you're going to learn so much about that process as well. And just from watching and tuning in and seeing what I'm discussing, and then also the events and the stuff that's been happening in our social circle. So this is one of the many reasons why you should tune into Eco Talk with Brandon. And I do appreciate so many of you all who are becoming regulars. And I'm seeing you pop up in the comment section, and I appreciate that. And though I may not know who you are, I appreciate you. I really, really do. I can't say that enough. So much of what I've been striving to do here is about finding my people. I'm looking for us. I'm not even gonna front. I really, really, really am looking for us. And I've been waving the flag so that I could get your attention for a number of years, so that if this does resonate with you, and if you are one of us, then you would raise your hand and make yourself known so that we can find each other. Because it's very, very important to have a network, a team, a family. That becomes your safety net. I was thinking about this the other day, and you know, somebody was asking me for some advice. They were asking me what I would suggest. This is what they were thinking about doing, and how much money should they save before they move, and what other things should they consider. And what I said is, you really, yeah, buddy, construction zone, and you're stopping to pick up passengers. Okay, where did I leave off? You really want to think about, want to dedicate time towards finding more like-minded people. So what I mean by this is, if you haven't made the move and you're thinking about making the move, I'm gonna tell you straight up, while you're saving those funds up and you're stacking that bread, and you need to stack it, you need to get as much as you can, and you need to set up as many streams of income that can still flow into your bank accounts when you're removed from whatever situation or location that you're in. You know, you need to have some online businesses or other means, investments, Social Security, whatever it is. You need to have streams of income that are coming into your account that can support you, that can allow you to stabilize yourself first, and maybe even, you might even have to sustain yourself. Like a retiree, no, you're not coming here to work. So that means you've got to have enough money coming in through your pension and Social Security and whatever other things that you've done to be able to live off of. And so, yeah, in many cases, that person, they're going to sell their home, and that home is going to give them the capital to build a new home, and then maybe even some leftover, because when you look at, maybe they've been living in that home for 30 years. So they built, and the cost of homes here are cheaper, and they might even want a smaller, simpler life. So yeah, in that reality, they can, you know, build their home, have some savings, have a safety net, still have their pension, and they can survive. And that's realistically what it has been. And so it's challenging. It's definitely challenging. That's the word I like to use. I feel like it's both a positive and negative word at the same time. Not really negative, but again, it gives you the depth of what we're talking about. When you say something is challenging, it's hard and rewarding at the same time. So, yep. We really been going, guys. We really been going. I appreciate you all. If you're still here, if you're still here after all of this talking, I really appreciate you tuning in. I do. I wish that you would comment for me. Just so, again, like I said, I want to really get to know my regulars. I want to know who you are. You don't need to comment and say who you are unless you want to. That one too is fine. But just comment and let me know that you're watching and that you're regular and that you're appreciating. If there's anything specific you want to see or you want me to talk about, please feel free to touch on that. I'm always looking for new topics, or you know, now in this age of content creation, you've got to have stuff to talk about. And again, why I'm here, why I'm in this space, is for a number of reasons. One, I just want to continue to shed light on the work that I've been doing in Ghana. And two, I want to find my people. And I want to find other people who are looking to do similar projects so that I can help, one, you fulfill your dream, and two, you can help me fulfill my dream. Again, what I realized the other day, and it makes perfect sense, but, you know, I'm going to say it anyway. I need to have far more designs than I built. You know, there should be no cap to the amount of designs that I can have that showcase my creativity, my preferences, my style. You know, years ago, when all we were doing was designing, I had this urge to build, because I'm like, it's just design, it's just design, it's a pretty rendering. It becomes a computer file that gets lost. It becomes dated. It becomes this. Nobody sees it. it gets a like, it gets a comment, and then it disappears. Whereas when you build it, no, that's going to be there if it can stand the test of time. When you build it, people are going to interact with it and engage with it. And that's what really becomes architecture. And all of that is true. All of that is warranted. But at the same time now, with where I am in life, and what I mean by that is my age and how long I've been doing this and how much longer I have to do it. And because of that, it's like now, no, I need to get the work out. And so that way I have a legacy of work to leave behind. And so that's my goal now, to share more. Before, I had been a bit more strategic and a number of other things. Again, the challenge with just sharing so much is people are gonna use your ideas without utilizing you, you know, and that's, you know, it comes with the territory. And does that mean I'm not gonna create because I'm worried about somebody stealing? You know, so you gotta let that go and just create. And the ones who appreciate those creations, they'll reach out and they'll like, they'll comment, they'll donate, they'll hire you. It can be a number of things. They'll refer you to a friend. And so that's what a number of this is about sharing, so that one, people can even know what I'm doing. And so I'm gonna just recently as yesterday, I started updating my website. I had to develop a personal website. Let's call it my personal portfolio. And it's just BrandonRogers.homes. So there's no .com, it's .homes. And this is gonna be my personal portfolio, you know, because again, I want to help you fulfill your dreams. And so yeah, I'm happy to be back at it. This is me, this is my work. This is the work that I've been doing for decades. And ultimately, it needs to be a sustainable process that, one, can be sustainable for me. Two, it can be sustainable for you. And we can all benefit. So if you haven't already, please feel free to check out BrandonRogers.homes. And you can see the start of what I'm doing there. Right now, I just wanted to get a lot of general information up about what I'll be offering. Rates, I want upfront pricing so that people can understand. That's also one of the big challenges, is in a lot of cases, there's not upfront pricing. And so people don't know what they're getting involved in until it's too late. And by that time, it's kind of like, hey, I didn't want to go this deep with you, but I'm now lost because I have. So I want to have upfront pricing and transparency on what we are doing. Give me 1 second, I'm trying to navigate this traffic. So yeah, upfront pricing and on what we're doing, just so that we can have real world expectations. It's very, very, very important. Very important for this process. And so yeah, please feel free. You can check out, again, it's BrandonRogers.homes. I'm working on I'm working on my first ebook. Yep, I'm working on my first ebook. The tentative title is Yes, You Can Build Your Own Home, But Should You? And what I want to do is I want to empower individuals with the appropriate information so that they can make informed decisions and they can better realize their dreams and they can turn that idea into a reality. And so yes, I absolutely know you can build your home. And what I mean by that is that you can coordinate the process. You can essentially be the project manager, and you can find all the people and you can hire them and build your own home. Yes, I know you can do it. Now, should you do it? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And I want to inform you with the information so that you can answer that question. Because the reality is, it's going to be stressful. But this is now where that stress that you endure, because again, right now what you're talking about is cutting out. How many people are you going to cut out? It's going to be a lot. I mean, 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is somebody's going to introduce you to a mason, or they're going to tell you, oh, I have a builder who's a mason, and you're going to have a mason who's going to coordinate your entire home development for you. Might be a brother-in-law, an uncle, you know, a random person who you've met who told you that they're a mason and said that they build houses. And so now you're handing over your savings and all your hard earnings to them to develop your home. Yeah, when you hear it like that, it doesn't sound that smart, right? Yeah, you can say it. I don't have to point that out. But again, I'm only pointing out these things. And oh, let me cap off that point. The whole reason why I brought up that point is because how you're going to pay is going to be in stress equity. Hey. Yep. And so that's where you have to decide, you know, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to do? So that's the reality with that. You can save, yes, you can save money, but you're going to lose time and you're going to lose your peace of mind, because you're going to have hundreds of micro decisions that are going to lead to numerous different outcomes. One decision leading to a different. And all the problems you're required to solve. And so it just becomes challenging. So again, you know, I understand. I really, really, really understand, you know, why you do it and why you believe it's a good idea. And so I'm 50-50 on it. And so that's why I just want to make sure that you had the right information. If you are going to venture off and do a self-build, then have some professionals that you can tap into to get the essential information that you need so that you can be best prepared and informed for the task at hand. And so I personally have a number of services that you can tap into. You know, you can get all or a little bit, you know, it's how you like it. You know, if you want the ultimate design, development, and planning package, I can assist you with that, and you can get all of what you need, and we can do everything for you. Or if you want the hands-on, but you just need help with drawings, or you need somebody to come and look at your site just to make sure what you think is right, hit us up. We'll come through and do a site analysis. We'll fly the drones, we'll get footage, we'll look at the topography, we'll look at the lay of the land, and we'll advise you on a number of things that are site-specific to your conditions. And that way you can make the best decisions, the best choices. Again, if you have the information, then it makes the whole process a lot easier because you can make informed decisions. And that's what this is all about. So guys, thank you very much. I've just reached my destination. Yes, that's how long it took me to drive into town and get to where I needed to go. And so, yep. Alrighty, thank you. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, Eco Talk with Brandon, where we explore green building in Ghana, West Africa, and life beyond the return. I am Brandon, originally from Orlando, Florida, born and raised, damn near a Disney kid, and I'm out here chasing my dream, and it's a privilege and it's an honor to be doing what I'm doing. And I need your help. I need your support. I want you to tune in. I want you to share the word with other individuals that you think it might resonate with. And let's find our people. Ultimately, we've got to come together to do what it is that we're striving to do. And we have to find effective ways to communicate, effective ways to work together, and be able to see the bigger picture. I know our egos create these walls to where it's me, 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 and you gotta find somebody. You gotta find some few people that you can let those walls down with, and maybe we lock arms and we build a bigger wall that we're all inside of, and it's inclusive, and it's safe, and it's a nurturing environment, and it's a healthy environment. You can do it. So, alrighty, thank you, thank you, thank you. You all have a blessed and productive day, and I will see you soon.